You got some dad dancing there. The return of the king. KDB, you beautiful man. City have won a game of football. I'm just pinching myself. I am sleep deprived. Am I awake here? Yeah, that hurts. Uh, we did it. We did it. We actually won a game of football, and I'm delighted. The City have won. Liverpool have dropped some points as well. I've only just noticed that right now. There we go. So Liverpool drop points. City win. I got to tweet that. City win. Liverpool drop points. I'm just gonna say I need to tweet that right now. Are we back? Are we back? I didn't even know the Liverpool dropped points either. I really enjoyed that game tonight, guys. I think I've got what Phil Foden's got, a little bit of bronchitis, something like that. So I'm not 100%. I'm fine. Don't worry. I'm absolutely fine. I just can't talk for too long without feeling a bit weak. But I needed that. That was the medicine I needed tonight. Honestly, I really enjoyed that game of football. I think that was the most pragmatic but also sensible setup, and also exciting setup that I've seen from City in an awful long time. It's almost like having your players back from injury actually does help, because the players look fitter, they looked confident, they looked like they had a structure. And it really worked throughout the game. I'm sorry, I've cleared my throat an awful lot. It worked, the shape was good. I know it's supposed to never day with Stevens stuffed up. The last month and a half I have been particularly off. It's just because I'm not sleeping. I'm just struggling to sleep at the moment for various reasons. So it's winter, and Ruben's catching a lot of colds from play groups. They're passing them on to me, so I'm always it's sleep. I'm sleep deprived, trust me. Don't get any sleep anymore. But you look at the team anyway on screen, it's one of those things where if you look at this lineup today, it just worked. You had Jack Grealish playing in the centre. I'll be fine, by the way. Tomorrow, a good night's sleep will sort me out. You had Jack Grealish in the centre, playing central, literally in midfield. You had the four centre-backs again. We went for Akanji, Diaz, Ake and Vardial. But the beauty of that was that because Akanji and Diaz and Ake all like playing as a centre-back, Vardial did go forward, but tactically it made an awful lot of sense because you had Akanji covering out wide really naturally. Essentially it was sort of a back three, but it felt like a more natural back three as opposed to when Kyle Walker sort of covers it, and Kyle Walker's massively out of form. So the difference here is we had Ake covering the channel for Vardial, where recently we've had Diaz on that side. So Diaz has been going across when Vardial went up the pitch, and it just doesn't work. Where this actually works, that back line worked. So I'm buzzing about that. We've got to talk about Kevin De Bruyne. KDB, man, it's wild that Kevin De Bruyne is as good as he is despite everything. I feel like I think he was man of the match tonight. I feel like it could have been Doku, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But KDB, yeah, just absolutely brilliant. He's easily our best player still. It's probably Rodri, but if it's not him, it's De Bruyne. Phenomenal footballer. His first start in ages. I mean, I'll look at his stats here, but I'll be amazed. I'm going to guess at key passes. I'm going to say 5. I'll guess. Four key passes. There we go. 4 key passes. Goals, obviously 1. Assists 1. Just a phenomenal 74 minutes on the pitch there from a man who was absolutely everywhere. There is no one like Kevin De Bruyne. There is absolutely no one like him. We've had a lot of plays that many people would deem irreplaceable, but hand on heart, I've sat there thinking to myself, the only true irreplaceable player that we've ever had, in my opinion, is Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne has been the one guy that you can't recreate that. You could say David Silva, but I would argue that Gundogan, in the wake of David Silva, did a really good technical impression of a guy who's great in the pockets with elegance and style and all that kind of stuff. So you would argue that, and then Aguero, you can't replace him. But then we got the goals of Erling Haaland, so you sort of did. Vinny, you can't replace him, but then Diaz came and he was a warrior. Fernandinho, you can't replace him, we got Rodri. But I still don't think there's anyone in world football as good as De Bruyne. That phenomenal just ability to create chances and score goals out of nowhere and just play the passes that no one else has seen. He's reached this sort of wonderful stage of his career where he strolls around the pitch now, and he just looks wonderful. Yeah, I would argue Rodri appears pretty irreplaceable, but I would still argue at the same time if we had a Fernandinho, we'd be fine. And I don't think Fernandinho is one of one, if that makes sense. I think Fernandinho is a fantastic footballer who was made brilliant by Pep, but I think there is other Fernandinhos out there potentially. Do you know what I'm saying by that? Like, I feel like, for example, if we had Caicedo at Chelsea, who's doing really well right now, Pep could make him look as good as Fernandinho. I feel like there's others like that. But yeah, basically, I think this is where we have to appreciate De Bruyne. Thank you so much to Jay, by the way, for joining up. Thank you so much, mate, for signing up as a member. Massively appreciated, Jay. JV, round of applause in the chat. Legend. William as well says, it's a Christmas miracle. In Pep we trust. Pep had his smile on his face tonight as well, didn't he? It was after the second goal. I saw him step up from the bench and he sort of had a little smirk on his face. Absolutely deserved. Super chat from Out of the Shadow says, oh, Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne, a genius, mate. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm just buzzing. I'm absolutely buzzing. Yeah, Kev, just world class, an absolute genius. The back line, by the way, once again, Akanji, Diazake, Vardiol, it just worked. Vardiol could have scored a couple of goals tonight. He could have, but it didn't quite happen, It is what it is. Either way, I thought the defence was pretty good. A couple of mistakes here and there. Vardiol, Gundogan, a couple of sloppy things. Even De Bruyne gifted them a chance, which Chris Wood put wide. Not defensively perfect, but well, as Pep said in the chat, a few of our players probably had their best games of the season, arguably. I actually agree with that. That was Gundogan's best game since he returned. Not perfect. A couple of times he was caught on the ball. But what I love seeing was the return of the little flicked passes and the little lovely dink touches and all that kind of stuff from Gundogan. He felt like he was involved again. And Bernardo Silva, his best game of the season. Bernardo Silva was buzzing around absolutely everywhere. He looked lively again. He was driving the mad on that right-hand side with his trickery and his link-up play with De Bruyne overlapping. And of course, he got the goal as well. Yeah, so good. So good. Doku's best game of the season. Doku was just electric. Let's talk about Doku for a minute, man. Because I saw someone online reply to me saying he still gives the ball away too much and all that kind of stuff. He's a winger. Wingers are going to wing. Like, that's what they do. They give the ball away every now and then. I don't care if they do. But if you can get an assist, and don't forget it was a good assist as well. Obviously, De Bruyne did all the finishing. De Bruyne was a wonderful finish. But Doku went past the man really well. And because he went past the man, he had the time to look up and find De Bruyne in space. He drew that in. And De Bruyne obviously finished wonderfully. But then Doku's goal as well. Drove forward, put it in the bottom corner. It was like Sterling at his very best, if we're being honest. Beautiful stuff. Well, not everything he tried came off, and he nearly scored a wonder goal at the end too. But he does absolutely cause trouble. And Forest are a really good side. They're a really good side, Forest. Ona's a really good defender. Aina's a good defender. He was better when he tried to go wide from Aina, but when he cut inside, he couldn't stop Doku at all. So, Doku is energy, his vibrancy, and he had a really nice little natural link-up with Jack Grealish, who's the other story of this game. Jack Grealish plays central tonight, and look, I'm not going to sit here and say that Jack Grealish was, doing insane things or anything like that, or he was just, he was crazy good, but he was good. He was good, and you know what I loved about him? He was reassuring. He just didn't give the ball away at all. Look at that. There you go. One misplaced pass, 3 key passes, and they came from link-up play with everyone either side. He was drifting all over the pitch, and it was like 2 or 3 moments which was just beautiful to watch, where he got the ball just in front of the defence, and he's so press resistant, where he just went to go that way and pirouetted and went the other way. He reminded me a bit of David Silva. He's not David Silva, but the amount of times you saw David Silva go, no, then he span around, and all of a sudden he was in 20 yards of space, and he just calmed the game down, and he took us up the pitch. It was really, 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 really good. Honestly, Jack does not lose the ball. He just doesn't lose the ball. And there was one point where I think Elanga pickpocketed Jack, where Jack fell over. But Jack still had the physicality, because he's a young lad, not 34 years old, to still make the foul. It's weird that I'm praising him for making a foul, but you know what I mean? He still has the physicality. So Jack, and as well, at one point when he blocked a really good chance in the area, look, he had a really good game, man. Like, technically excellent. He takes the ball up the pitch. He helps the build-up. He links really well with other players on either side of the pitch. Really fucking good, man. Really fucking good. Like, genuinely encouraging. A potential solution right there. Absolutely. Salam said, so good to see the lads win today. The starting lineup was perfect. Seems that Kanji and Ake are injured. I'm not liking that for that, mate, but just for the super chat, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I hope they're not seriously injured. I hope it's just like a week off or something like that, you know, because those two were excellent and the defence was way more balanced. Yeah, thanks for the super chat, mate. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed the win today. You know, it's one of those things where right now, City, we can absolutely... we can absolutely enjoy this tonight. We can enjoy this tonight. This is how the table looks. We're currently in fourth. You know, Arsenal are playing right now. I think they're going to win as well tonight. But we're 9 points behind Liverpool. You know what? It's still a miles off. But enjoy it right now because I've been given, you know, a shot in the arm of confidence from that because that was our Manchester City. We were the better side and we deserved that, you know. And look, I know they had some good chances as well, but don't let the XG lie to you there, you know. We had 6 big chances to their 1 big chance. They went through a goal with Chris Wood. They had one from reasonable distance, which was beautifully saved as well from Ortega Moreno with a big strong hand. But ultimately, City was definitely the better side and created better chances and created more possession against a very good Forest side. Do not underestimate just how good this Forest side are. Currently is 6 now, but they were higher than that. They could have been higher than us today as well. So yeah, I'm buzzing tonight. Haaland did run his ass off as well. City Slicker. I agree. I absolutely did. I thought Haaland worked really hard. United are 2 behind, are they? Are they actually? Oh, they're playing Arsenal, aren't they? Yeah, they're playing Arsenal. Let me have a look. Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? There we go. I don't want Arsenal to beat United necessarily, but I do at the same time, if you know what I mean. There we go. I mean, even possession, which is interesting. But Arsenal still the better side there. But either way, you know. I am very happy with that. Very, very happy with that. I don't feel, by the way, if we had this exact lineup against Liverpool, they might still beat us, but it'd be a different game. I just don't see how they would dominate us in the exact same way. I know you might think I'm overreacting there, but I feel like the lineup of that defence and the experience of that midfield and all that kind of stuff, totally different. We saw Doku make an impact the other day, and then Grealish and De Bruyne on the pitch as well with that lineup. They might have beat us still, but it wouldn't have been humiliated. It wouldn't have been, I promise you. So anyway, as you can tell, I don't feel 100%, but I'm going to leave the video here. But I am delighted with that. Absolutely delighted. We needed that. I felt we were going to win today. I actually said 2-1 in my prediction because I felt quite confident. And that was, I mean, I would have been even more confident if I'd known De Bruyne was starting. But KDB back, you know, City flying. Let's have a look. You know, what Guardiola's been saying. But I'm confident. Kev's been talking as well. Kev said it's nice to be back out there and hopefully change momentum. It's been a tough time, but you have to accept the challenge, and I think we did well today. He said it was more like a 3-3-4, the formation. So what did that look like, the 3-3-4 then? Let's see, we work it out. A 3-3-4. A 3-3-4. We'll build it, change the colour there. So Kev said it was like a 3-3-4. So it would have been Ortega, it would have been Ake, Diaz, Akanji. Diaz had a good game, by the way. So he would have been the 4 up top. It would have been... It was De Bruyne was one of them, wasn't he, really? I think Vardial was sort of like here. You had Gundogan there. Who was the 4? Who was it? Maybe Vardial. Vardial was up there, wasn't he? De Bruyne was definitely here. KDB was there. Doku was there. Grealish a little bit deeper, maybe. Yeah, it was more maybe like Grealish, wasn't it? Grealish a bit deeper. Gundogan on that side. It was more like this, wasn't it? Really, it was more sort of like that. And this was Bernardo. So that's what De Bruyne reckons it was. Vardiol's high in the 4. We said De Bruyne said a 3-3-4. So there we go. So something like that, maybe. It was sort of like that, wasn't it? As far as I'm aware. No, there is sound. Someone said there's no sound. There is sound, mate. It's definitely you, unfortunately, pal. But either way, Kevin said, I'm happy you could do 70 minutes. It's a big improvement from what I could do later, so I'm happy about that. Kev said, Jack did a really good job in carrying the ball and controlling things. He said, to be honest, about Liverpool dropping points, it's not the moment to look at that. It's been a hard period. The Premier League's getting harder and harder, and everyone's taking points off everybody. We'll see in a couple of months. Pep had this to say. He said, I'm happy for KDB. He deserves the best because he's a lovely guy. He's been massively important for many years since he arrived at City. When he's fit, he's so important to us. He said, is there any optimism? He said, it's just one game in 3 days. We have another one against Crystal Palace. We'll see if we can continue that. Yeah, I mean, overall, a wonderful game. And I'm buzzing. Absolutely buzzing. It's just a fit and healthy and strong side. And I think that made the difference. I'm going to go and rest up now because I'm really under the weather. But we won. And I'm buzzing. KDB returns. City win. It really is simple as that. In a bit. I love you, Kev.